fresh new morn. Wade and Carter's Texas Talk. Feel the vibe. True stories and music. It's a wild ride. From the prairies to the valleys. Let's sing it loud. Join the conversation. Come along, be proud. With a twang in their voices, they'll break it down. From the ranch to the city, every single town. Interviewing legends, sharing dreams anew. In the heart of Texas, we're talking straight to you.
Hey, good morning, everybody. Welcome to the Wade and Carter Show. It just died.
What is
the music? Yeah, just gone.
Well, see, what it is we're too cheap to unlock the full song. This was like an AI-driven app.
And 2 minutes, and I only started playing it a minute ago.
We're riding the free preview. Yeah. I've got a scenario.
Well, we haven't had the feedback yet to see if it's any good. Good morning, Marina. Let's see who's on the podium this morning. Ricky King, Mark Kurtz, Scott Tomko.
Hi, Marina.
On the podium this morning. Thank you
Rena.
for tuning in, everybody on Facebook and YouTube.
Hi, Wendy.
We are live.
I only say hi to the ladies.
Studio.
It's always made me proud. And look, you gentlemen don't take this as a slight, but the ladies in general, I think that, you tell me if I'm wrong, they're more discerning. They're more cautious about what they call entertainment. If you've got a show and there's 50 people listening and they're all men, you definitely have a target-driven program. Maybe all you talk about is sports, or all you talk about is Donald Trump. But when the ladies check in, I find in general that they're just much more thoughtful people. And that's not sexist. I think it's a compliment. So when the ladies check in consistently, you might want to give Cody a microphone. He knows lots about the ladies. If they check in consistently, there's Marvin Mickish. And for example, Marvin right now might be in a skirt. So there's a chance that he's identifying this morning. When the lady, BJ Nelson, there you go. When the ladies check in,
I think Marvin could take you, man.
I would not cross Marvin.
Okay, that's good.
But I can't
take a different
He
target.
and I are tight. I'm not going to upset Marvin. He chuckled and like coffee came out of his nose. There's Lisa Poole. See? There you go. Look at that. I think it's
King
just
says,
Brent trying to suck up to the ladies.
Yeah.
Now on the main stage. Hey, put your hands together for Ricky King.
Are we going to advertise for Patrick Strauss this morning?
What did P. Strauss do? Good morning. Moving sale starts at 7:30. My junk could be your junk. That sounds like kind of a LaBerge type comment.
Is he wearing a dress? That's the one I'd ask about.
We would never, ever, we are a dollar a holler show. We would never point out that our friend and a keeper of really cool stuff, Patrick Strauss and Lori Strauss, 2206 East Loma Vista.
Yeah. I'll take some of that bourbon off your hands.
Yeah,
Pat,
you know
so
he's
you
got
don't
a
have to
couple
move
bottles
it.
of Eagle Rare. 2206 East Loma Vista, 7:30 this morning. You can listen to Wade and Carter live while you shop. Step right up.
You know there's people
win
there
some
right
crap.
now trying to get the early bird specials.
Isn't that right? Step right up and win some
If
crap.
we're not careful, he's going to start putting it here like a yard sale feed and have all of his items listed.
BJ Nelson says, Patrick Strauss, do you have pictures of your junk
there it
online?
is.
I
He'd
think
be
that's-
arrested if he did.
I think it's illegal to put pictures of your junk online. The Wade and Carter Weather brought to you by the great folks at AT Deerland Feed. We joke about it, but it's more than a catchphrase. It's the truth. For everything you need, there's Deerland Feed. 74 degrees and cloudy in Victoria, Texas, heading to a high today of 86. It's going to rain today. From 9 to 3, there's a pretty good chance of some rain. Remember, as you swat mosquitoes, remember as you enjoy boating on our regional lakes, it was you who was complaining about the drought. It was you who said we needed rain. I've heard Texana is full.
I doubt it.
I don't know. Is it back? It looks like a Whataburger milkshake. It's never clear. It's always muddy.
I can remember when
Lake
there was
Texana
enough water
is full.
there. When
Look up Lake Corpus Christi for me. Get the depth over there.
All right. So Lake Texana is 99.7% full.
So if you went over there and took a pee, that lake would be full.
Yeah, 100%.
There you go.
I don't know.
24%.
Up
As
from
of-
12 or 10, whatever.
Something
right
like
around
that.
there.
Around 8. And then now it's at 24% as of yesterday.
You want me to tell them the joke about taking a pee?
No.
Okay. It's clean.
There's not enough time. It's only an hour-long show.
True
Yeah, it
story.
took him like 45 minutes to tell the joke.
Sorry. That's my Canadian impersonation. I'm sorry.
Pretty close. A. You forgot the A.
Sorry. Ooh. I was oot in a boot.
What a lovely thought, Brent.
Let's see. Dr. Oz says President Trump is in spectacular health.
You know, somewhere between there and the truth, you know.
Is he tainted though? Is this tainted because of the lies of the Biden administration and his perfect health when they were telling us the opposite of what our eyes were seeing, right? I mean, there's no such thing. There's no such case with Donald Trump. You see the man. He's not falling off a bike. He's not tripping over his own feet. He's not having trouble walking upstairs.
I felt sorry for Joe.
He's not sleeping from 3 o'clock in the afternoon until the next morning.
But I mean, as a man, I felt sorry for Joe. If Joe would have been a boxer, his trainer would have, charitably thrown in the towel.
Yeah.
And I don't, there's nothing about Joe Biden that endears us in any way. I mean, I didn't like his politics. I didn't appreciate his bravado. I didn't like the fact that he married his nanny. I just didn't. There was nothing about Joe Biden. There is nothing about Joe Biden. I don't like the way he raised his kids. I just looked at him in every way with, at the very least, apathy. But at the same time, the Democrats rode him like a show pony. And then when they decided, man, we're in trouble, this Trump guy's going to beat Joe. And then once they knew his cognitive decline, and they trotted him out there for that debate, and you've got to understand, they allowed him to expose himself on television. They said, well, it's time.
Yeah.
Let's take him out there. They started talking about utilizing the 25th Amendment, and then they just slid Kamala in there with no vote among their people. It's the most egregious inter-party coup you've ever seen. And his wife knows it. Jill knows that they used him and threw him away. If Eric Swalwell had a wife, his wife would know the same thing. Jasmine Crockett.
Well, because she can benefit.
Yeah.
She
wants to live.
She'll end up on a speaking tour. I can't imagine she's doing all these TV appearances for free right now.
Things Joe said to me. And that meant I love all Americans and I wish you the best.
But if there was any more evidence that the government will tell you what they want you to believe and try to get you to believe what they want you to believe, it was that handling of Joe Biden every year when they said, oh, he's in perfect health.
Yeah.
And I think that's partly why, Donald Trump seems to go to the doctor every 3 months, right?
Same hat, me and the Donald.
Because, and he'll be 80 later this month.
And they're
by the
saying if
way.
you look at these records, they're spectacular. His cholesterol, his blood pressure, all the numbers are in excellent parameters. Do you wonder if by chance the doctor is in on it? Not Dr. Oz, but the doctor that wrote, his BP's 180 over 160, but they write down 128 over 74.
Oh, they're in it. There's no wondering.
Yeah. But I think that's partly why Trump goes to the doctor as much as he does, because the American people no longer believe the doctor because of what they did with Biden.
Yeah. Yeah.
So
there you go. Patrick Strauss says you can check it out on Marketplace, some of his great gift stuff for Scott. 2206 East Loma Vista starts in 19 minutes.
a Harley? Wow.
Scott Nelson would look good on a Harley.
Scott would look good on a Harley.
I do agree with that.
We'd have to disassemble it, paint all the paintable parts maroon, paint it red and put a white trash sticker
It
on it.
might be maroon already. We don't know.
True story.
Some-
Well, with Patrick Strauss, it could be
Could
maroon.
be. Yep.
That's right.
Greg Garcia says the Dems have absolutely no moral high ground when it comes to the argument of democracy after they switched Biden and Harris without a primary.
It
But
is
they
interesting.
excuse it. That's the worst part.
But the party rules are different. They have the ability to, in the Republican Party, it would be unfathomable that a delegate would vote other than what the election results were. In the Democrat Party, it's kind of up to the delegation. The great state of South Dakota gives all of their votes to Kamala Harris. We've never met her, but
BJ just negotiated the Harley for free. I don't know how she even did that.
it's
that impressive.
Good. She's that good. What it is she'll beat you down, right? To where you finally go, just take it. Just take them. We advertised for them for free for the last 3 years. I was scared of her.
House
No.
passing a measure to direct the U.S. to withdraw forces from Iran or win approval from Congress to continue, the war, I guess, for lack of other terms, in Iran.
Says it's a remarkable rebuke of Mr. Trump and his handling of the
New York
conflict.
Times is saying.
The problem I have with that is, what message do you send to Iran when one of our uber respected bodies of legislators says, no, thumbs down, Mr. President, we don't support what you're doing? Iran says if we can just hang on a little longer,
Yeah.
they will eat their own, and we'll be able to do what we've always done. At the same time, Israel reaches a tentative, very conditional ceasefire with who? With Lebanon? Saying if Hezbollah stops you see the hat, right? It's the same hat. He got it at Ronald Reagan Airport, just like I did. The fighting with Hezbollah has to cease. Hezbollah has to quit attacking Israel.
The Harley is teal, in case anybody's worried.
Oh,
Nice.
that's a nice color.
President Trump said Iran's top leader, Mo Khamenei, is involved in peace talks with the U.S. but he has suffered injuries during an airstrike earlier this year. Yeah, he's involved. Absolutely. I think they have lots of respect for him, Trump said. Yeah. Originally, they said that, his father, Ali Khamenei, was killed in U.S.-Israeli airstrikes in February.
Yeah. And Mo has not been seen for months.
Yeah.
So,
In a long, long time.
yeah.
Trump
So
said.
we'll see what happens
Super.
there. But
Super long time.
the Iran threatening to block the Strait of Hormuz again.
Tell you what, if they do, it's just time to bomb the hell out of them. Just get it over with.
Well, why do we keep giving them time to rebuild their naval assets and whatever else they need to do to continue this charade in this game?
Could it be as simple as the industrial military complex?
I have a feeling it's that simple.
There was a time, I'm trying to remember, when the U.S. was attacking Osama bin Laden, and Osama bin Laden came from a very wealthy family, and bin Laden's
Why? Well, yeah, we made him wealthier.
but bin Laden's relatives had invested in like Raytheon, Boeing. I mean, so him causing a conflict that caused McDonnell Douglas to ramp up actually benefited his family. Interesting.
Yeah. Monty Howard says overall perception of medical professions have taken a hit beyond anything they did to help cover Biden. I give you COVID, gender care, blind acceptance of federal directives, the vaccine schedule, cholesterol standards, et cetera, et cetera. Oh, I don't argue that. I'm just arguing the fact that if there's any more blatant, obvious government lies to tell the people what the government wants them to hear and to believe, despite their eyes telling them a completely different story, it was the handling of Biden and them coming out and saying he's in absolutely perfect health when you could see he wasn't. That was my point there, is that the government now they basically admitted what we've always known. They do lie to us.
I want to share one with you. I see Torrin Bales checking in. Torrin Bales lost his father, Denny Bales, on Tuesday night. And Mr. Bales was 86 years old. I don't know if you knew this, but Denny Bales was known for years. Number one, besides all the jewelry that he sold in Corpus for decades, he was really known not predominantly, but very widely as someone who was a huge advocate for animals. The stories abound of him going in and paying vet bills for people that couldn't afford it. Rounding up shelter animals, going to shelters and just walking individual animals so they got out of the shelter and could spread their legs and enjoy the day. Apparently by all accounts, much beloved in Corpus and a very, very well-known animal advocate. So rest in peace, Mr. Bales. I never met you, but you raised a good man. And Torrin, we're sorry for your loss.
Yeah, absolutely. House measure symbolic because the Senate would have to pass a similar one, I believe. So,
which I don't think will happen.
No.
And there's a lot of stuff. I call it wasted time. There's a lot of things that happen in Washington that are symbolic. When you see the word resolution, I mean, all that is just poly speak. Yeah. It's not, unless it's a bill sitting here on Capitol Hill, unless it's a bill, it ain't doing much.
Yeah. Meanwhile, Kuwait blaming Iran for a drone strike on their airport. One person killed, several dozen injured.
I don't understand that deal. It's like you and your brother get in a fight and you walk down the street and slap the neighbor kid and go, "That's for you, Ash." I don't get it. Iran, to me, they're cowards. They've always been cowards.
Well, because they're striking out at everybody who's an ally of the U.S. in the Middle East.
Thinking that those people are going to lean on us.
That is weaker than them.
Right.
Because Kuwait won't do anything. They should, but they won't.
They'll have to get in the backup Rolls Royce and go down to the bank.
So this quietly got almost no media play until yesterday because of the elections out of California. But 15-hour standoff at an office building in Bakersfield, and where a absolutely crazy looking dude.
Oh, the guy with
was holding 10 people hostage in Bakersfield. FBI ended up killing the guy.
Good.
I agree. Absolutely agree. Police responded to threats of a bomb threat at the building that housed a bank and a school district office. He released a couple of hostages through the thing. But
the state of California preparing to blame the hostages and hold a vigil for the hostage taker, right?
Probably.
Yeah. reparations paid to his family. He was a quiet man, a great neighbor.
Yeah, he didn't want to do anything.
He mowed my yard once when I had a broken hip. Yeah, I saw the picture. The guy looked very, very odd.
No, he was.
This is interesting. The stat: hostage negotiation is a 52-year-old discipline that began with the New York Police Department and boasts over a 90% success rate.
Is that successful when they kill the guy?
Yes,
and
to
the
me that's
hostages come
successful.
out?
He's dead. Hostages walk.
I agree. I think that is successful. And to the hostage.
What would happen? What would happen if you just pumped laughing gas into the HVAC system and let everybody in the building go to sleep and then go in there and pick up the guy that's got the gun?
You watch too many movies. I don't think you could do that. This is interesting. Scott Pelley fired from 60 Minutes. He was probably, I think, one of the better known 60 Minutes correspondents outside.
He's been there forever. Like he kind of goes back to. He's your direct tie to Morley Safer.
So I think so. Yeah.
You know.
I guess Cooper Anderson Cooper is probably the most, but I'm
Scott Pelley. All this and more on 60 Minutes.
He got into it with our new executive producer Nick Bilton, who
this
apparently
is not a smart guy, right?
The guy has, I think, I don't think this Bilton guy has any clue.
Fair, but Scott Pelley, the key phrase is incoming, what they call him? Incoming director. Scott Pelley decided to criticize this guy.
Yeah.
So he really criticized his boss's boss. He delivered a rebuke of CBS News editor-in-chief. That's a key phrase. Editor-in-chief Barry Weiss. So
wasn't she involved with Obama?
I cannot prove that. Accusing her of murdering the news show. He also criticized her choice of Nikki Bilton as new executive producer. So you got the editor-in-chief, the executive producer, and then Scott Pelley standing on his Emmy Awards, standing on his resume, and he decided to criticize up the chain publicly. I think they said, you know what? We're paying you $10 million a year and you're bad-mouthing the machine. Get out of here. Can you confirm what Scott Pelley makes?
Bilton.
Pelley.
He makes nothing because he got let out.
Solid response, but I'm looking for a little more AI interaction with you there.
I mean, Nick Bilton was a New York Times correspondent. He's not been. I mean, I agree with Pelley. You hired a guy that has no clue what he's doing.
He's handsome. He's only 49 years old.
5 to 7 million.
5 to 7 million. That extra $2 million is kind of a big deal. This is an author, filmmaker. He worked at the Times for 13 years and then for Vanity Fair for 10. So he's kind of metro, got some product in his hair.
So he probably is okay to live on his salary for the rest of his life.
He should be okay. He was born in
saved up.
He was a design editor in the newsroom.
Yeah.
And then wrote some blogs about technology.
Look up Nick Bilton's
That's who I'm looking
spouse.
It's Scott Pelley. No, I'm kidding.
See, you're onto something there.
His wife is Sandra.
What was what's Stahl? I'm Leslie Stahl. Remember her? I used to think she was really good. My favorite was Lara Logan. Lara Logan.
I don't remember her.
Oh, you'd remember her if you saw her.
Ed Bradley was pretty good.
Ed Bradley.
Morley Safer.
I liked Ed Bradley when he was with the Celtics.
There was a time
60 Minutes had unlimited reach. They were like game wardens. They could go anywhere, and if they showed up at your office, you were in for a long bad day.
Yeah, no, absolutely. If 60 Minutes showed up, you basically knew you were screwed.
And they were uncompromising, and they had free reign at a time when journalism mattered. As time went on, it seems they went more and more left, more and more, rather than sharing the story, they shaped and crafted the story. And there's a place for that, and maybe an editorial television show is one, but they no longer just told you the news. They told you how you should feel about the news. It was very, very leftist. There really is no centrist or right side. Is Meet the Press leftist? Or is
I think it leans that way.
I think that girl's really good at asking tough questions.
Yeah. Bari Weiss, I think, was sort of at the center of
Center left is what it says online.
I think was at the center of that controversy at the New York Times. Remember when they had an op-ed from Tom Cotton that they ran? And the editorial page editor, I think, resigned because a bunch of the staffers of the New York Times didn't think that was the right thing to do. I think Bari Weiss was part of that as well. I think she resigned. I don't know which side of which way she signed.
And that got her a gig at CBS.
And then she ended up with CBS.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I don't know whether she succumbed to pressure from, the social justice warriors that didn't want a Republican senator's letter in the paper, because that's what it amounted to.
Tom, I'm reading this on Wikipedia, so take the source in mind. It says U.S. Senator Tom Cotton, in his op-ed, said that since rioters have plunged many American cities into anarchy, soldiers should be sent as backup for the police to end the violence. Now, stop there. I don't have a problem with that. We should have cleaned up what was going on in Portland long before the word Chad became a mainstay. Yeah. Monty Howard says Laura Logan is still blogging. Yes, she's very good.
So
Stephanie Connie, who's insightful, and she really does read this stuff a lot. She said he's 68 and was no longer going to be able to spread his propaganda, so he wanted to go out with a bang. He wanted to be fired. I don't have to squint very hard for him to say, I want to be like Stephen Colbert, fire me. Emergency interruption as we're joined by, can you do the phone deal over there?
It's ready to go.
It's not on, though. I've got him on here. Is that you there, sir?
Yeah.
We're joined by State Representative from House District 30, Sheriff A.J. Louderback. Sir, we appreciate you taking a few moments to talk with us. I know you're in Austin, and just take a second and tell folks what's going on up there. I know, what is it, just junkets, lots of golf, strawberries covered in chocolate? What's going on up there?
Well, certainly I've been here for 3 days here in Austin, and we've had a summit, a House summit, and we've got a House Oversight Committee, governmental oversight, a select committee I was selected to be on for several different issues. We've got some major concerns about NGOs and different things like that, and of course the 2 counties out of New Mexico that are wanting to move to Texas are on there. We're not taking that up today, but that promises to be a interesting committee to be on.
It's so interesting to me because if you go on down the road and you say that these 2 counties from New Mexico want to join Texas, I have a feeling that if they're granted admittance, number one, we've got to redraw all the maps. But number 2, they're probably going to be Republican counties, would be my thought. Is the left not going to erupt in just a mind-blown state when you add, those 68 Republicans to the state of Texas?
Well, I think so, but there's a major concern. I don't anticipate that New Mexico will be will want to take part in this, which will bring in the treaties from years and years ago from the 1800s. So it's going to be quite a complex issue to try and tackle. But it's interesting that we made an official request for 2 counties to become Texas, part of Texas. So an interesting thought about the whole thing, and whether it happens or not remains to be seen. But we'll see.
You've given me an idea if you would take it on, if you would be the leader of this movement. I think it'd be really cool if Texas allowed Puerto Rico to join Texas. They don't have to become a state. We could have resorts and casinos and all kinds of stuff down there. That might be fun.
Calm down, Brent.
I know these counties have some oil. Do they have some water too?
Yeah. No, there's no water in Mexico.
Well, I'm not sure about that, but they definitely have some black gold.
What were you going to ask him about? You said, let's ask him about.
Yeah.
I forgot.
Are you involved in, or have you been involved this week in the hearings for school finance? Because a lot of school districts apparently, from what I've gathered, complaining that what they were told they were getting and what they're actually getting, there's a huge discrepancy there. Can you explain what's going on with that school funding? And now there's cries of Representative Buckley maybe not being transparent or forthcoming with all the information to some of these school districts.
I haven't seen that. I talked to Dr. Buckley yesterday and the day before. He's been here at the at the summit, but I haven't heard anything about that. But it's I don't know. I did see where we're TEA setting up a dashboard, which I think will be a little more effective on this. We have way too many cases of our children in our public schools that are being assaulted and stalked and sexually assaulted, and I think this is definitely going to command some legislation here in the 90th. So I think there's several things that that are part of public school system that we've got to try and fix those things, and I think that finance for the public school system, I think it could undergo a complete reformation in my opinion. I mean, I think there has to be a simpler, more effective way, to make sure that these schools are making the right decisions. School boards are making the right decisions, with local tax dollars and state tax dollars. So that, that's a goal. So I'm not surprised that it's a pretty constant hue, from public schools that we need more money. So that's something I hear in the staff here with HD 30. We hear that pretty regular.
Well, one thing I would share is and I would welcome your response is I know Dr. Buckley and I just don't believe. Now, there may be a real strong chance that a lot of people don't understand everything. I just don't think that it's likely at all that Brad Buckley misled anybody. I have confidence in him as an individual. I mean, I could be wrong. He may be a quote unquote politician, and I give you as a compliment that you're just, to me, you're not a politician. Although you are, to me, you're not a politician. You're a problem solver. And there's a big difference. And I just don't see Brad Buckley intentionally going, well, I'll promise them this and they'll all vote for it and we'll go a different direction.
Well, what I read in I think the Texas Scorecard and Texas Tribune was that the legislative budget board or whatever, the LBB, used to basically hand out what school districts were going to get from the TEA's estimates. And this time around, you had to actually make an appointment to go sit with Dr. Buckley to be told what you were going to get. You couldn't see the papers. That's what they're complaining about, is now they're having troubles. Hey, you told us we were going to get this. Now we're getting this. I think it's $28 million shortfall between 7 districts, including, I think, Houston and Dallas, just
based on some type of merit.
Yeah, based on some type of formula funding or whatever. But they were told they were going to get $28 million more than what they're actually getting. And this has been the flap that sort of has started to unravel on Monday from what I saw.
Real quick, we're visiting with House District 30 State Representative, our state rep, Sheriff AJ Louderback. Sir, does any of that resonate with you? What are you hearing in the halls of the Texas House?
We haven't heard much. Yesterday I've been around probably 60 members, and this subject did come up. I mean, it did not come up on the school part. I'll dig into it a little bit today and see what's going on. But money in the public school system and the transparency, the complexity of school finance, I think is ridiculous. I would certainly look and hope that we can achieve a better level of understanding. And I guarantee you that Dr. Buckley is going to have a very good answer as to what's going on here. And there could be a multitude of things that are going on. Because I hear in this district alone, the 28 school districts, that a pretty constant complaint about we weren't funded enough. And so, that's not abnormal at all. And so I think he's probably well versed in handling these things, and he's very competent. I see him too as a very honest person that's trying to make the Texas public school system the best that it can be in the nation. And so I think he has that desire. I do. We're searching and struggling to try to get Texas kids the best education we can, whether it's public, private, or otherwise. So this is a common goal. I'm sure the education committee has the same thing in place. So we're definitely searching, each day to try to figure out what's going to be the best pathway to go on. It may not be a perfect pathway, and that everyone likes, but I think that's probably unattainable.
Well, we all believe it's going to continue to constantly evolve, but here's what I run into, and I know I can't say that I know you wouldn't say this, but what I think the situation is that school districts in total, public school, the industry that is public school, constantly, always complaining about a lack of funding. If you gave them more money, they go, that's fine, but you're not giving us in real dollars. We didn't get what we got in 1933. It's a constant moaning. I've been in labor with our school district for 60 years, and it's time somebody showed us the baby. At the end of the day, because they cry and scream that the sky is falling all the time, the fact that they're in Austin right now going, we didn't get enough money, it just doesn't resonate that strongly with me. And Ash, something you should know is that when AJ Louderback says that he has talked to 60 legislators, do you want to know how that happens? Because anywhere he goes, there is a quorum of the Texas House following him. So that when he turns around and speaks, they say, yes, sir. And that's how they get things done in Austin, Texas.
He was born E.F. Hutton, is what you're telling
when
me.
AJ speaks,
yeah,
people,
calm down, guys.
People
Calm
cower.
down.
They don't listen, they cower.
What do you say to folks that when they,
howdy,
not enough? Well, yeah. Aside from that, what's your question? But what do you say to the folks who say that? No, 50% of the budget this last time went to public education. Is that right? Somewhere in there, close.
Well, it's close by.
Yeah.
But I think we also have to bring in a conversation that the COVID money that came through the public school system. I see that as one of the largest culprits that we've ever had to deal with. And I think we're just trying to get through school boards made decisions on money on a cash delivery. And I don't think many of them made the kind of decisions that they were definitely warned about, but did it anyway. And so that's led to a number of shortfalls. And, we can, you can always stand there and blame the state for not funding this and not funding that. That's pretty common. And I get that. But, really, it's sometimes it's hard to self-evaluate when you look at the school board decisions and say, hey, well, we probably shouldn't have put that piece of curriculum in, or we probably shouldn't have hired the X amount of teachers. So usually the TEA has a tremendous database on school finance and what districts have actually spent money on. And so this is I think a lot of these districts that are in trouble or have a lot of debt, that's almost a direct cause or part of the cause of each district's financial situation.
Yeah, well, what they did is basically went like Clark Griswold in Christmas Vacation. They spent the money
before they got their
before
bonus.
they got it all, and then they got stuck with the Jelly of the Month Club instead of a cash bonus. But that's basically what happened with COVID is they spent the money like it was never going to end and committed to things that they can't afford any longer.
BJ Nelson asks, she says, ask the sheriff about service centers. I have no idea what
I don't either. It's pretty
open-ended, but is there something that jumps out at you that's being addressed about service centers?
Well, it's a great question, and I think what she's referring to are the regions, the region service centers. We're serviced by Region 3, and there's quite a few of them around the state, and they are in place years ago. Historically, we don't have time to go through that today, but they provide services to a school district in each of these Region 3, like Region 3 services 39 school districts. And I think what she's asking here is, what they charge the districts for the services they provide. And, one case in point, one example that's a glaring example is the Bluebonnet program, the printing of the books, and this is an effort to get back away from a tablet and a computer and put kids back with a pencil in their hand completing a book. As we try to go back, back in years and establish some fundamentals that we seem to have lost, with no cursive writing and different things like that our kids are being raised with. So, kind of older school situation, and I think a Region 4 service center won that multi-million-dollar contract. And you got to ask yourself, how would a service center have that type of money?
Yes, sir.
And so I think that's there've been that they come under scrutiny several times for that in the state, and they do service the districts, and it's dependent on who you're talking to as to how effective they are, but they definitely charge for these services. And I think some districts have complained about that and I've heard complaints before about the fact that some of the best and brightest teachers, go to the service centers, and so they're faced with a continuing shortage of teachers and losing some of the best teachers they have, and supervisors in the public school system just go to the region service centers and become employed there.
So what they do is they started years ago, not that long ago, but several years ago, telling the service centers to run themselves like an independent business as opposed to an extension of the school district. And, when teachers are going to retire, Ash, they get I'm making up numbers, but you get 60% of the average of your highest 3 years or 5 years. And when you go from, say, VISD to Region 3, typically they get a raise, and they go over there. They were making $60,000 as a teacher, and they go over to the region at 95. And if they work 5 years over there, it really, really greatly enhances their retirement, which, by the way, taxpayers pay. And at the end of the day, a lot of the stuff in the curriculum that they cover is mandated, actually, sir, by you guys. And I don't understand how a place like Region 3 is allowed to, A, be in the real estate business, like they bought that Pioneer complex out off of 77, and B, that place is nowhere near its highest and best use. It's just they use about 10% of it, and they're off the tax rolls.
Well, I think they're for profit. I mean, I think they're there's a for-profit element to this whole thing, on this whole conversation. But it always bears looking into it. And being in the real estate business has definitely caused some concerns and definitely caused some questions to be asked here.
Yes, sir.
In the district, in-house District 30. But I've got to run here. I will tell you too. We've got our first case on Texas soil of a screwworm with a calf born in Zavala County. So that's
is that LaPrire?
Yeah, that's going to be a pretty good sized deal there. So
I did want to
I
ask
think,
you one question before you
yeah,
run,
go ahead.
AJ. Where do you think the voucher program is going to end up next legislative session? Do you see an expansion of it, or do you think legislators are going to hold it steady as where it's funded?
No, there's already talk of an expansion of the voucher program. So I suspect that it will be plussed up. To what degree, I don't know. That's not really talked about, but I think you could make the assertion that you're probably going to see another billion, I would think, or somewhere like that.
That'll be the compromise, right? People will want 3 and they'll drop it to 2 and we'll call it a win and move on.
Yeah, it'll be a negotiation. You have to watch the governor's office for that and see what messaging they put out about it. But the program is phenomenally successful. So there were a whole lot of applications that were made for it, and the priorities of the voucher program for our special needs kids and low income kids were definitely took every dollar that was set aside for the voucher program. So we'll see the district, the rural district that we're in. We saw very little change in enrollment. I think the VISD was somewhere around 260 kids, that left the district. So
it's the homeschoolers, though, right? Most of those kids are going into homeschool, not private school.
Well, I've often told
they get vouchers though too.
There's a lot of experts on schools and school finance.
Yes, sir.
In the arena, and but I see homeschool as being that's the threat to public schools.
Yes, sir.
And I say a threat, it's not really a threat. I think parent education and parent freedom, pick the best education for their child is I think that's mandatory. I think it's something we've got to embrace.
Well, sir, we know you have to run. We appreciate you thinking of us and for taking a few minutes to just bring our audience up to speed on what's going on. Wish you safe travels, and hopefully we'll see you this weekend.
Absolutely.
Okay,
Appreciate
buddy.
y'all.
Be
Thank
well.
you.
Bye, sir.
Thanks for joining us. It's our state representative, AJ Lauterbach, joining us on the show this morning. Just found some numbers on the vouchers. About 60% of the kids that were approved for vouchers were already either private schooled or homeschooled. So
they were already out of the system.
They're just getting,
and their parents were still paying taxes.
Yeah, their parents are now getting help paying for their education.
Yeah,
as opposed to. So
I heard a guy yesterday on I think it was Will Cow. It was on one of the Breitbart stations, and he said that he had moved from New York when he was school age, and he said, I was an average student in New York, but in Florida I was literally top of my class. And he said at that time, he goes, I didn't get measurably smarter when I moved to Florida. He said Florida's schools were that bad. And he made the comment that, and he wasn't a voucher proponent per se. It's not why he was on the program. He said that the number one thing that helped Florida was when the voucher program came in and public schools were forced to compete. Instead of being the default for the kids, they were forced to compete. Now, I'm a public school product. I support VISD, and I have to retaliate or respond with, but the public school doesn't have to the private school doesn't have to take every kid.
No.
And in the same breath that you have to keep this in context. I'm not saying special needs kids are a burden, but the public school has to deal with the entire spectrum of special needs kids, from kids with health concerns to kids with discipline concerns to the ADHD to the dyslexic to the mentally retarded.
But they are a burden on the budgets, though.
Right. In that form, they are a burden.
I mean, in this article in Texas Tribune, Lubbock ISD has a $3.5 million shortfall from what they get from the state simply because of special education funding.
And there are simply children, and I'm just making a statement of truth. I'm not saying whether it's good or bad, that they are guaranteed an education through a certain age. And in reality, for some of those kids, a measurable percentage, the public school is merely a babysitting service that gives the parents a break.
I think that's been the case for a
right?
long time.
Well, I know it was for your twin brother,
Yeah,
but
absolutely.
the point is that you don't have that. And I'm not in any form picking on, like, say, St. Joe. I'm not. I'm just saying, if you took 4 or 5 special ed kids and dropped them off every day at St. Joe, it changes their school. It changes their dynamic. It changes what can and can't be taught. It changes how kids move around the campus. It changes things. I mean, I've got friends at the administrative level at several of our campuses, and I mean, I'm not joking. Well, we got a runner. We got a runner. Kid just runs down the hall, bolts out the door, running down the street. That kid gets hit by a car. VISD has all kinds of trouble. If that principal puts her hands on that kid, VISD has all kinds of trouble.
Damned
If
if you do,
she
damned if
can't
you
get
don't.
a hold of the school resource officer and get him to tackle that kid,
And then,
next thing you
and
know,
then
that
the
kid's on
SO
the
has a
loop.
whole bunch of trouble. Remember the flap? I mean,
Yeah.
every time they seem to do something, there's a segment of the population that gets mad at them for stopping a crime.
it's like, where is he? He was
Yeah.
last seen going up the entrance ramp onto Loop 468. He's on foot. He can't get too far.
Ricky King says a lot of special needs kids are deemed special needs by the school district, so they get more funding.
That's a
But-
fact.
Is it though, really? I mean,
Yes.
would Lubbock ISD do that so they can deal with a $3.5 million shortfall that they got to make up internally? I don't think so.
Oh no, what they do is, so say you get, and I'm using round numbers, $750 a day for a kid. That may be high, but whatever. $750 a day for a kid. If that kid is deemed dyslexic, or is SPED, which I always thought was somewhat derogatory, but it's not. When we were in school, SPED was derogatory. Now it's like the preferred acronym, special ed, SPED. When those kids are SPED, maybe you get $1,500 because they are, quote unquote, more of a challenge, more of an opportunity for educators. Well, now that you have the school voucher program, everybody is running their kid through the testing, because guess what? If little Billy has 4 sisters and little Billy is deemed special ed, not only does little Billy get a voucher, but all of his sisters do, because the family unit must be preserved. They must all be kept together. The next thing you know, there's lots of money flowing
Which is
out.
interesting, because if one kid's old enough to go to high school, you don't throw all the elementary kids in the high school to keep the family unit together.
That's exactly right.
right?
it
It's
is
flawed
a-
thinking.
And here's
It's
the
flawed
problem.
logic.
Taxpayer rationale. People feel entitled. There's a voucher out there, and by golly, when they ask
But who
you,
made the rationale? It wasn't taxpayers. It was our legislators who figured out that, well, we can't separate the kids. Why can't you?
right?
Happens all the time in school.
John Anderson from the Carolinas is St. Joe and Our Lady of Victory. No, now you've got Nazareth Academy. You've got other
Faith
of the
Family.
Catholic schools. Faith Family also has a high school.
Victoria Christian Schools. There's
There
a
you
few.
go. Brent Carter's homeschool for the elderly. I've got it. Come out. Speaking of elderly, Cody, what's the name of that geriatric computer center that Brandes runs?
The Crossroads Help Desk.
Crossroads Help Desk.
Yes, sir.
I mean, I'm old. I can't remember that. I guess it's good if we advertise for it.
That'd be nice.
The Crossroads Help Desk, if you reach out to Brand Us on Facebook,
We
I'm
have a website.
they have,
We have a phone number.
you would think the computer guy, he has
Give
a
us the phone number,
What's the
because
phone
if these
number over
people
there?
can't get on the computer, they're not going to find your website.
Right. That's why
361
827-5256 is my cell phone. And I will take-
827-5256.
There you go.
If you've got dyslexia, you may get, I don't know, a chance to buy some
somebody
life
else.
insurance.
Yeah, somebody else.
We have not taken a break yet today.
And boy, are my arms tired.
I know.
Let's fly through it, but let's do it with respect, folks. We are so fortunate to have the myriad and great, every one of these people, Every one of our sponsors, Ash and I we both have personal, hands-on business experience with every one of these people. USA Concrete Coatings, USA Foundation Repair, they can come out, they can analyze the problems on your slab, on your pier and beam house. They can fix it.
When it's dry, our clay shrinks. When it's wet, it expands.
Absolutely.
And that causes problems for a lot of houses in this region. So give USA Concrete Coatings a call if you suspect any sort of foundation issues. They'll come out and look at it for free.
It's pool season, and all you men know about shrinkage. Veracruz Restaurant, it's post-caldo Wednesday, Thursday. Full menu. Sans caldo. Get into Veracruz today for the best queso, hot sauce, guacamole. It ain't taqueria grandes. It's Veracruz. Get in there. Trinity Episcopal School, Torn Bells chimes in, is also a private school. Allen's Wrecker Service, 578-6300. Allen's is your go-to tow-to. They'll help you get from here to there from almost anywhere. Whether you're in Victoria County, Goliad, you're down in Refugio, they have a depot in Refugio. That sounds like a country song. Cody, real quick, whip us up an AI that says, got a depot in Refugio. Went Services.
I'm not going to pronounce it right.
Refugio.
That's exactly right.
Make it happen. You're the guy. Went Services for all your electrical needs. New outlets. You need a drop-down outlet.
Calling them for some of that stuff.
You need a big fan in a barn. Went Services. All the things you can think of. If it involves juice, they can do it all the way down to a turnkey generator. Paravita Wellness and the Vita Cafe.
They have a good meal now. I had it last week for the first time. They have a turkey lettuce wrap that's really good.
Sounds
Asian
fantastic.
turkey lettuce wrap, really good. What was that?
I think Cody has gas.
It's a fire truck.
They also have a protein power ball, diced up and perfectly cooked, like not al dente, but they're firm yet very edible. They give a nice contrast to the brisket and the eggs, but they have sweet potatoes in it. It's just wonderful. She puts all that together. No preservatives, no gluten, no nothing, no toxins. Palace Bingo, where friends meet friends. Goodbye, Palace. Have a good time and support 7 local charities.
We'll figure out Wade and Cutter Day.
There you go. Someday, soon.
Someday soon.
Going with me. Someday soon.
Chesnick Furniture Company, speaking of going with you, go in there today, buy a recliner, love seat, sofa, take it with you tonight.
Is that Mo Bandy's song or Susie Bogus?
Susie Bogus sang it. Ian Tyson wrote it.
Thank you. Chopping block for all your protein needs. That's British. Chopping block. They'll wrap it in aluminum. Get by the chopping block today. You want steaks, chicken.
Pork sale still going on all week.
Puerco.
Great sale on some great pork steaks.
Get by. Wow. We didn't talk about Chesnick Furniture, but Chesnick Furniture inviting you. Did you talk about them?
Yep.
Did we?
Yep.
What about bedding? Stearns and Foster.
Talked about
Sealy,
sofas, love seats, and recliners.
Posturepedic. Whatever you need, including all the
accoutrement
for your walls. Reach into Chesnick Furniture. First State Bank of Louise. Astros update.
Astros win. Astros win. Astros win.
Unbelievable last night. The Astros going through their mundane season with their mundane lineup, riddled and strafed by injuries. The Astros last night trailing 9-5 at one point. Boom! Put up a 6 spot in the bottom of the 8th. Astros win 11-9. Josh Hader came in, and basically it was like the second coming. The lights went down. The music started. Hader, making $19.5 million a year, strolled to the mound and very calmly dispatched what was left of the Pirates. 11-9. What a great win for the Astros. And you've got to wonder, having a Josh Hader come back. Now, tonight, Hunter Brown, if you're not doing anything
they need him because they've given up 19 runs in their last 2 games.
Yes, but if you're not doing anything tonight, drive. It's a short drive. Drive over to Sugar Land, just exit University Boulevard, and go right up, and the stadium will be on your left, and go watch Hunter Brown in his, I think, last rehab start for the Space City Cowboys. It's going to be a fantastic game. Hunter Brown comes back. Maybe McCullers comes back. Maybe Abreu loses that last 5 pounds and gets back his old form. I tell you what, the Astros, They just are kind of the cardiac kids. Like when you want to write them off and say they're just not that good, you can still see some things that could gel. Spencer Arrighetti, I guess, gets the loss last night.
No, he did not.
We didn't lose. We didn't lose, but he doesn't get the win. That's what I meant to say. I apologize. But they've been losing so much. I'm always trying to figure out who got the loss.
Bluebaugh got the win. Hader got his first save in his first game back.
He also had 2 strikeouts.
So
it says 1. I think he had 2. It was late. Commander Cody says we have to wrap it up. Folks, we can't thank you enough for being a part of the program. You are the program. You can join us today if you have time, 11 o'clock, Parkway Church. Kind of a heartfelt goodbye to our own Bob Constantine. I don't know anything about the order of service. I just encourage you to come if you have time. And, hey, we wish you guys a great day. We will be here tomorrow, God willing. Torrin, safe travels. We love you, buddy. And we hope you guys have a great day. God bless. Y'all be well.
Bye, folks.
Bye, folks.